You do not know what you've already done. Shortly after my father died, I ran into an older fella who asked how my father was doing. We'll name the older fella George to keep this story clear. He's still dead, I replied glibly, my way of not feeling the sadness. George suddenly needed to sit down, overcome by shock and sadness. And George told me a story about my father. He and my father when they were in grade school. Dad was 3 or 4 years older than George, an age difference that is significant in grade school. He came across George one day as he was crying. Dad stopped to find out the reason for George's tears. Some bullies had poured all of George's toy marbles down a gopher hole where he couldn't reach them, and his game was gone forever. After the conversation and consolation, George parted ways with Dad and went on with the rest of his day. Later that evening, Dad appeared before George, sweaty and filthy. George remembered Dad asking a lot of questions about the specific hole and realized that while George went home, Dad went to his house to get a shovel. Dad silently put a bag containing George's marbles in George's hand and went home. Dad never remembered that story. He never told me. It was forgotten. It was not a significant story to him, but it was a significant story to George. You have already made a difference. You were a young kid and don't remember the stories. You may have heard some of the stories later. Maybe you wished we would shut up about you because your parent was embarrassing, but you have already made a profound positive change in the lives of your parents. Our world will never be the same because of you. Thank you. It's great you have read to the end of this, looking for ways to make a difference in the world. Go you! Keep trying. Just know that if you accidentally reintroduce serfdom or fall into what feels like an ineffectual mediocrity, you can't fail because you've already succeeded. You are unconditionally loved. Or maybe your parent has just lost their marbles.